We actually had it all the way up to 250K at one point. So we go ahead and put it in. He snap calls. He has.
Jackpot whispers and roulette wheel spin. In the city of sin, can't tell where I begin. Dealers gaze sharp, table feels alive. Every bet I place keeps the thrill in drive. Torching with TJ, stacking my dreams. Vegas heat rising, nothing's what it seems. Chasing that river, life on the edge. Every chip I push, I'm making my pledge.
Hey, good morning from the backyard. We got our eggs, we got our breakfast, and we got a sports bet to start the day. Baseball has not been good to us. We're staying away from baseball. Soccer and basketball, we've been crushing, pretty much hit everything. So we're going back to the NBA Finals, and we're going Alex Caruso. This line is at over 8.5. Over 8.5, and I think that's way too low. He's hit it in both games so far to start the series, 11 and 20 points respectively. He's over 9 out of 9 times this season when he's played 26 minutes. He has hit that number, and we don't expect his volume to go down as long as, again, it's not a blowout and there's no foul trouble, which I don't anticipate. I think he'll hit this number again. He's been crucial. He was pivotal in that second game for them to get the tie, and I think they're going to keep turning to him, and the game plan or the defense should allow him to get that 9 points. So that's what we're looking at today. Best of luck. If it does move to 9.5, which I anticipate that it might if I'm right, if this sharp action is correct, I still like it at over 9.5. I wouldn't go anything over 10. So that's our sports bet to start the day. We're about to head in for the Monster Stack, the $1,500 Monster Stack. One of my favorite events every summer for several reasons. One, you get 60-minute blinds. This is the first event we're going to play with 60-minute blinds, which historically we perform better with longer blind levels, as most good players do. It's also a daily freeze out, so you can only fire one bullet per day. Limits the amount of craziness you see in the early levels because people can't rebuy. But there are 4 starting flights, so we're prepared to play them all if we have to. Let's hope we can bag on one. Plan B, if we do bust, is to hop in the horse, the $1,500 horse that starts at 2 p.m. this afternoon. But we're going to try our best to get there right at 10, hop in this Monster Stack, and hopefully build a Monster Stack. Almost to Paris, 60-minute levels in this Monster Stack. Playing 11 levels today, that's the goal, which means that's 11 hours of play plus breaks. Starting at 10 a.m., that means we'll bag around midnight. TJ, why do you show up at 10 a.m. and put yourself into 14 hours of play? Well, a couple reasons. One, I feel like I have a huge edge in deep stack play over most players that show up at 10 a.m. Let's be honest, the majority of the players that show up at 10 are more recreational players who are looking to maximize the time that they're at the table, get the most bang for their buck, so to speak. And pros tend to late reg more. So I want to be in play with the non-professional players for as long as possible. Yeah, sometimes. Does that mean I bust in the first couple hours? Sure. But that doesn't mean that it was a bad decision. It just means that's what happened that day. So that's why we show up at the start. Plus, endurance isn't really a problem for me. I'm pretty sharp right at the end of the day. We'll see. That's not always the case. If I don't get a good night's sleep or something, I'm not going to force it. But if I'm feeling good when I wake up, I want to be there right from the start of the day. That's Darren Elias shares a similar strategy, one of the best tournament players in the world. He says, if you're a professional, you should show up right at the start. Way too much EV, way too much bad play right at the start. People make mistakes, and when they do make mistakes, they're pretty massive sometimes. We start with 250 big blinds. Can't tell you the amount of times that somebody has punted off 250 big blinds in the first couple levels. And I want to be there to receive those chips. So hopefully we're on the receiving end and not the kicking end of those punts. Setting ourselves up for a 14-hour day in an ideal world. So let's get it. First break of the Monster Stack, we started with 50,000. We're down to 32,000, unfortunately. We have a really good table, splashy. One super aggressive player, 2 seats to our left that we've played with before. He'll come up in a second, but we have 2 big hands to talk about. First big hand at the 200 big blind level. From the hijack, we have Ace King offsuit, Ace of Diamonds, King of Hearts, and we make it 600. Holds around to the small blind, and he 3-bets to 2,200. Back to us, this deep, we don't have to 4-bet. We can mix in some calls, and that's what we do. We do call. I don't think population is 3-bet bluffing enough. And we're happy to disguise our hand and just call in position. Flop comes Jack 7-7 with 2 clubs. He continues for 2,200 with our strong ace high on the paired board. We go ahead and call. Turn comes another jack of spades. And interesting card because obviously we're chopping with all ace highs now. But he should be afraid of that jack. I have more jacks than he does. Still, he goes ahead and bets again for 3,800. Little on the small side. Makes me think he leans a little more towards value, but not sure. If he does have queens, we've got 6 emergency outs. We block the aces and the kings. I don't think we can fold just yet. We do call. Rivers an offsuit 4. Does not complete the flush draw. And Caitlin Comiskey walks up right as we get to this big river action that we were facing. But that's okay. She's more important.
What was the river?
The river was an offsuit 4.
Oh, so we jam. No.
So of course we jam. The brick hits our range more than anyone else's range in this tournament.
Of course, yeah. So you river a set of sailboats.
No, I have ace
you win
high.
The pot?
It's
okay.
ace king offsuit on jack 774. And then he checks and we check behind in this big pot. He got king 6 of clubs, decided to 3-bet me with the king 6 of clubs from the blinds. And we just take our ace high to showdown and win. When Caitlin shows up, good things happen. That's the lesson to be learned.
I'm so happy to make the vlog. I gotta tell you, I feel famous.
Oh, you're big time here. I'm trying to be like you.
I'm loving the TikToks. Y'all follow him on TikTok.
I just signed up for TikTok and it feels so uncomfortable. But
we'll
we're
do
in there.
a little dance later.
Yes.
We'll get you warmed up on TikTok.
100%. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And follow Caitlin everywhere. She's one of poker's funniest people. And she's signed with Poker Stars now. Look at this.
I'm streaming.
I'm just gonna zoom in on
Caitlin
your
Texas
chest for
Poker.
no
I mean, not no reason, but
Congrats on all your success this year.
thank you. You too, homie.
Thank you. Nice to be interrupted by Caitlin. But the second hand before we get back was a doozy at the 300 big blind level. From the hijack, we open up 2 red aces, ace of diamonds, ace of hearts. The loose splashy player we were talking about calls on the button, and the big blind calls. Go to a flop of jack 5. Big blind checks. We go ahead and check, and the button fires out 2,800. Pretty big bet. Nothing to do here but call. The big blind gets out of the way, and we call. The turn comes another jack. So now we have the best full house. We're losing only to quads. It's hard to make quads. We check, make him think we have ace high as the goal. Obviously, if he has a full house, he's probably going to bet again if that's the case, and he does. Fires out 6,800. He's pretty short at this point because he's lost a couple big pots. He's got about 12K behind. We can either call or jam. We're obviously never folding at this point with top full house. And I decide to go ahead and jam for a couple reasons. One is we don't want it to go check on the river if we have the best hand, and if he has something like pocket 7s or something like that and a 10, queen, king, or ace come out, he might not put any more chips in the middle. So we want to go ahead and get it all in now. He doesn't have too many bluffs after firing twice on the jack 5. So we go ahead and put it in. He snap calls. He has jack deuce of spades.
Who had that jack deuce?
Hey. Aces down in flames to quads. Well, it feels like a simulation. But we had built up our stack to 60 something K before that, so that cut us down to 30 something K. We're going to try to move on from that. Thankfully, it happened early into a short stack, but when aces are losing to quads, it's hard to make progress. Monster Stack update on the second break. We got all the way down to under 20K at one point, but finally we got some momentum going. We're up over 60K. And the last hand before break is the one that got us there. The button opened. We're playing big blind 500. He opened to 1,300. I call in the big blind with 10-8 of diamonds. And let's take a pause because Sammy spins. Sammy Gruber's here. What up, Sammy?
I've barely seen you at all.
I've seen you once exactly.
I think one time.
Well, how many hot dogs have you consumed this summer?
Like 10 or 11.
But how many of those were on a single day?
6 was on one day.
Really bringing the average up that one day.
Yeah.
Are you, what was your favorite hot dog of all the hot dogs that you ate?
It's always the South Point hot dog, honestly.
$3.50? Or is this the $1.99?
$1.50.
$1.50, okay.
100% beef.
$1.50. Which one's better, that hot dog or Costco?
I've never been to Costco. I've never even been inside a Costco.
You just went down a few points in my mind. We're gonna go to Costco one time before you leave, so you can have. You're Sammy.
Do they have slot machines in there?
No, maybe in Vegas, but I don't think so. We'll hit a slot machine on the way just to make you happy. I'm just updating the people how I got all my chips.
Oh, you have a ton of chips?
Well, not a ton. I was down to like 20K. Now I have 60K.
That's more.
You want to hear a hand, or do you want to leave while I tell the rest of this hand?
I don't want to hear a hand.
I didn't think you would. I didn't want to like force you to stand here. Bye, Sammy.
Bye.
Anyway, 8-10 of diamonds. We call in the big blind, and the flop is King 8-7 1 diamond with the 7 of diamonds. So we flop second pair, we check. He continues for 1,000, and we call. Turn is a pretty 10 of clubs. Brings a backdoor flush draw. So 2 clubs on the board, and we lead after turning 2 pair for 3,800. He makes the call. The river is, at first glance, not a great card. It's a king, but the club does not come in. Offsuit king. So we're counterfeited, of course. Now we have kings and tens. I check. No real reason to bet here. If he did turn a draw of some sort, whether it be clubs or straight draw or anything like that, then he feels compelled to fire this card, obviously, and he does, and he fires big. He bets 16,000. It's a really good bet. Basically, it's a king or a misdraw, is what he's telling us. Maybe he can do this with aces, but way less likely, obviously. So we think for a while, and we go ahead and put in a call. He has Jack 6 of clubs. Jack 6 of clubs on the button. Played it fine. We just found the call at the end. He turned in a combo draw, basically, on that turn. So thankfully, we were able to find the call, and we're up over 60,000 chips. Back at it. Oh, baby, we're up to 180,000 on the third break. Oh, my gosh. What a wonderful 2 levels that was. I'm playing like a maniac, but so is my entire table. Chips are flying. We had two big hands. Just insane. Guy opens late position, and he has the widest range of the table. He's aggressive and good instincts, but he's playing way too many hands. I 3-bet the ace-6 of clubs from the small blind. Gets back around to him, and he calls, flops king 9-3 with 1 club. I c-bet like I do my entire range on these king high boards, and he calls. Turn is red 3. Not really much of anything. And I fire again, and he calls again. River is an offsuit 9. I check, and he fires 25K. At this point, I've only got 27K in my stack. I've got ace high on a double paired board. I just don't think he's betting a king here. And I don't think he has a 9 because he called a big bet on the turn. Could be wrong, obviously. But I think it's so polar that, all the flush draws missed. And just sitting with this guy for 4 hours, I just don't think he has it. So I call with ace high. Yeah, and he's got 4 or 5 spades. Missed the flush draw. We picked it up. After that one, I 4-bet the king 7 suited because now I know everyone thinks that I'm wide and crazy. I open the cutoff, button 3 bets to 6K. I 4-bet to 16.5, and he calls. We flop a king. Bet, flop, bet, turn, check on the river, and we pick up another big pot. We're up to 180K. Let's keep this going. This feels good. A truly difficult and frustrating couple of levels. Coming back from dinner break, 1,600 big blind level. Still got 50 bigs, just below average. We're fine. But we had visions of a massive stack. 3 more levels to play tonight. Basically, the 2 hands that fucked us. We had 8-6 of spades, and we turned the nut straight. Got it all in with another guy who also had 8-6, but he was free rolling to the flush, and he binked his flush on the river. That cost us 75,000. Massive pot. And then the table maniac, who has announced that he wants to leave and wants to get out of here or build a massive stack. I opened pocket 7s plus 1 to 2,400, and he jams 29,000 from the big blind. Looks me in the eyes and says, "I don't have a very good hand. I just want a big stack or to get out of here." And I believe him, and I call. And his 25 bigs or so. He has ace of hearts, 6 of hearts. Board ends up running out. Ace, ace, deuce, deuce, 6 or something like that. He makes a full house. So those 2 hands cost us, over 100K. built up a big stack to survive those 2 hits, and now we jump back in, try to make it good final 3 levels of the night and bag this thing. What do you think?
Open. Ooh.
That's not good.
Oh,
That's not good. Oh boy. That's the only card I'm playing right there. Good luck me.
2 players. All in.
Oh baby, 5 of hearts, right where I needed it to be. 9 of hearts one time. Oh. Well, that doesn't make it any easier. Just need 1 card still. Hey, that's not a good card. Not a good result. Monster Stack, we played all the way down to the final level and then got our 10 big blinds in with Queen Jack suited, but ran into Ace Queen off and could not improve. Frustrating because we had built up such a big stack in the middle and then just ran like shit for the rest of the day. Came back from break and the very first hand I played was I opened King Queen suited, got 3-bet, called, flopped Queen high, called 3 barrels, and he had aces, which cut me down, and then we grinded that short stack for a while until that bust out hand. So what are you gonna do? Play 12 hours for nothing? Come back and do it again tomorrow. Our sports bet didn't give us any solace. We booked 8.5 points for a boy, and he scored 8 points. Game script was not what it was supposed to be or what it has been in his games lately. He's hit this in 9 of the last 10 games. Today he was more of a facilitator. Lots of assists, lots of rebounds, not a lot of points. Came up just shy of our number. What a bad day financially. So close to hitting the sports bet. So close to just bagging the monster on 1 bullet, and instead we missed both. And that buries us again today. So, but here's the thing. But we are lucky. I'm not like sad about these day-to-day losses. It is a part of the life. Obviously, it's not what we want. We want to just sunshine and rainbows and win on a daily basis. That's usually not what happens, and that's okay. But I do, at the World Series of Poker specifically, I found way more success in the 9 months outside of the summer than I have during the summer. And I really want to do well at the World Series of Poker. And I know I have the game for it. And I know that, with enough volume, I will find success. But it just sucks to not find it here at the epicenter where we all want it to be. It's okay. Still early. Main event still on the horizon. Monster Stack still plenty of shots at that one. We're happy, but let's bag it tomorrow, huh? Anyway, our giveaway is almost upon us. We're pulling 3 names tomorrow on the 12th to gamble, to torch it with me. There's a bright spot in this financially destitute day. Anyway, appreciate you all. This has been such a fun passion project. I know we're just getting started. The best is yet to come. Thanks for being along for the ride.